Hi, I'm RGB Foxy Cosplay, and I'm going to show you how to take an image like this, turn it into a pattern like this, so that you can turn it into something real. And all you got to do is obviously have a functioning computer, a printer, and download two programs. One of them is Fusion 360, and the other one is Inkscape. And if you've had Fusion 360 in the past, or as it is called Fusion now, all you need is the free license. You do not need to pay for anything. So get that downloaded and we'll get started. One other thing that you do need to have, of course, is an idea of what size you want your prop to be. And keep in mind, we're going to be only doing something flat like this. It's layered. And yeah, there's a handle in the back. But basically it's flat. And you will need measuring tape to figure out how big. And so this thing is, obviously this is not an exact measurement here, but we're going to say that we wanted to make it 21 inches. Or in non-freedom units, that's like 55 centimeters. So have that number ready with your image and you'll be ready to go.
We're in Fusion. We're going to make a new design. I have all the drop downs open. Here's a bunch of files on the side that I've been working on. If you notice, it says read only. On quite a few of them, this is because you can only have 10 documents that are editable at any one time. If you're a cosplayer, you probably won't have that many open unless you just forgot to close some up. Read only just means that you can't edit them and you'll have to make one not editable so that you can edit another one. But again, it's not anything super important. As long as you have your little 10 spaces, you'll be alright without paying for the program. Here are our units. This little drop-down browser, you want to have everything in millimeters. If you would like to switch and work into inches in your little freedom units, you may, but I prefer to say millimeters. If you type something in and you hit enter, it will just make it appear in the types of units that you are working with. So you don't have to use millimeters and type in millimeters. You can type in inches and convert to millimeters. And you will want to have this as millimeters in the end anyway. I don't play with name views, honestly don't know what they do, just gonna hide that, and the origin is the center, and you're gonna need these planes later. You're gonna wanna have everything on the same plane when you're working, but it's gonna be fairly easy. And if you do this one instead of this one, it just left click, hold, turn it up here. You can left click and it'll put it into place and you'll be alright. So we'll probably be working on the XY plane. Now I told you to have an image ready. I'm going to insert an image here. This is a canvas. We're going to go through my computer and find the canvas. So it's in here. I have two different images. Let's go with the Love's Bulwark. This is the one from Wowhead. I'm going to left click to put it onto this XY plane. There are a lot of scaling functions. There you can play with the opacity, light or darker. I keep it at 50. And I made it a little tiny, but we're going to make it work. So I'm going to scroll in. And I'm going to make the canvas visible. It has the name of the file. You're going to left click. You right click to open this and left click calibrate. You're going to take the 2 points that you measured on the shield or whatever measurement you decide, whatever way you're going to measure. It's in millimeters and I want it in inches. So again, 21 inches is what I decided, and I'm going to put, it says 21 IN, hit enter. Now it is enlarged to a real size of 21 inches. The canvas is now ready. Now we're going to left click and create sketch. We want to work on the same plane as the canvas because that would not be good to draw up here. You wouldn't be able to see it. So we're going to left click and now the canvas is ready. One thing you want to keep in mind when you're drawing, screenshots aren't always perfect, especially if you're getting them yourself, so you want to add a line down the middle if you're working with anything symmetrical. That way the left side and the right side will match when you're ready to copy it over, or mirror it over as it is in this program. So I'm going to take a dot here and put a dot here. It was the left and left click. I had the line function. It's also, I have a key here. You can change a shortcut key. I really shouldn't be playing with it like this, but you can see where it has a change keyboard shortcut. I want to stop this line and close it off. You can either left click the little check mark or hit the escape key. Of course, I want to continue just using line. I don't need any curvature. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep adding lines. If you notice, it's trying to snap a point here. It says it likes it parallel. I'm going to allow it to, because you can kind of zoom in if it's fighting you and you don't want it to be like, if I wanted it to be right here instead of here, you zoom in more, it'd be easier to pick a spot you want as opposed to where it's most like symmetrical or even. I do want it to be parallel. Looks nice and even. Here's the constraints. There's perpendicular, parallel. Funny enough, last time I did this, the parallel function showed. This time it's perpendicular. And if I want to ever remove these, because if you move a parallel line, it's going to do stuff. Let's hit undo. You can actually left click it and hit delete, and now if you move it around, it'll just move that one line. But again, undo. I'm just going to keep the perpendicular function in. Now that you know how to do a straight line, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one, which is an arc. There are a couple of them. You will be mainly using the 3-point arc. I have it as my W key, but I'm just going to left click, and you see if I'm snapped onto this point. I'm going to use it to make a curve because I want it to be curved. I don't want it to be exactly like Warcraft. And as you saw, I was able to make a curve. I'm not going to make them really, this is not going to be perfect. This is just to show you guys how it works. The more time and care you take, the better your curves will work on your final pattern. And there's another function, there's a tangent. So if I move that, it's going to make a whole bunch of weird circles. We're going to go ahead and continue to left click and use the W key. Again, not making anything perfect, but the goal is to make it round for the purposes of this pattern. When you play around with the lines, you'll notice that they'll try to curve into place where they snap nicely. And so I'm going to go ahead and use that and finish some other lines. We got all the curved lines done with the W. And now you want your circles. There are, again, many ways to do things. There are many circles. I like the center diameter circle. And I'm going to go here and decide what number I like. So it says 28.6, we're going to say. 28.6 millimeters, right? That's what size I want. And I'm going to do that down here also. 8.6 millimeters. I want all my circles to be even. That's the best way to do this. If you feel that your circle is too high or too low, you can left click it and move it around. See, this one's actually staying on the line. But there are other ways to move if you like. You can also, now that it's left click, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. You now have one you can move around. The downside to copying and moving is that it's going to copy it from the same place. So pasting it again, I'm pulling it from the same spot, and that can get annoying on a really big picture. So you can just go ahead and remember the 28.6 millimeters and use that. So I'm going to do that over here, and again, left click if you want to move it around because you want it's not going to be perfect when you draw it, but you want it to be fairly symmetrical. Now that you have all of your lines done, you may want to add, I don't know, maybe you want to add these lines. And we're going to do two real quick. This is kind of tricky. You can add multiple lines to help make measurements for things. I'm not worried about perfect symmetry because again, I'm trying to show you how this works. It looks like it's trying to snap it, but it's kind of in an awkward spot. So we're just going to do this. I just want the top line and the bottom. You can put lines on top of each other. And so it's going to allow me to do one line here and one line here. And maybe I want another one here for the wood grain. And so there's the long line. Do one here, it's going to stop me here. Do one here, and it's going to stop me here. Oh, see, it isn't always symmetrical. I'm going to undo because I didn't like how they look. Sometimes you want to zoom in. I'm going to hit that line key again. I want it to, there we go. Sometimes you got to be zoomed in just to make sure it looks good. And these were measure lines. Again, just like this one, you're going to get rid of it. You're going to get rid of those. I'm going to hit the escape key, and then I'm going to left click, hit the delete key, because I'm selecting the part of the line that I didn't trace over. And again, delete, and now we have the wood grain lines. And now we're ready to transfer this to the other side. Left clicks, and we're going to select everything. If you're trying to mirror into smaller spaces, you want to make sure you grab the lines, hit the control key, and you can select a bunch. But we're going to just go ahead and grab the whole thing and remove what we don't want. So as you can see, it didn't really quite select everything, so I'm going to do it again. There we go. These are the objects. We're going to go and remove the things that are in the middle that don't need to be copied. So this circle is already on both sides. Left click, and we want to use the mirror line for measurement, mirror line. We don't want to copy it because then it'll be appearing double and look thicker in the final file in Inkscape. So now that you have all of these selected and you're sure you have the ones that you want, it looks like they're all there. We're going to left click the mirror line, and then the magic happens. And now it's symmetrical. We're going to hit OK. It's going to take a second. It's being kind of slow because I'm recording it. As you can see, it copied, but we don't want to keep, again, the measure lines. So before I finish my sketch, I'm going to hit here and remove that measure line and just hit delete. Now it's all nice and pretty. I can make maybe, oh, well, you may want to add the wood grain in the middle. That's probably a good idea. I'm going to hit the escape key, click that middle line, hit delete, and now we even have the middle wood grain lines. I'm going to finish sketch. And as you know, you probably should have been saving because depending on your computer, Fusion can crash. Mine almost did while recording. It's taken a lot out to record. We're going to hit save. And so we're going to hit, it's going to be tutorial bulwark, and it is now saved. It is uploading progress in the corner here. Because again, you can go ahead and pull the DXFs out of this if a whole bunch of your stuff gets lost. Don't rely on it, but it is there for you. And it is saved onto their cloud for free. So we're going to hit the sketch. We're going to look at the units of measure that are millimeters. Make sure to fix that if you're working in inches. Right click, and it says save as DXF. And keep in mind that if your sketch is acting weird, you can kind of blink it in and out. And you can do the same with the canvas. See, it's all nice and pretty. So if it acts weird, you can just kind of hide it, unhide it, and this menu should pop up. Make sure you did finish the sketch. I'm going to name it Toot Bulwark. There's a folder that I made for the original version of this, and before it crashed, and we're going to save it. Now it is saved, and you want to go to Inkscape. And there's multiples here because I did this more than one time. We have the file here, tutorial bulwark that I made is a DXF file. See, it highlights there. We're going to open it. I want you to screenshot this and look at the different, just the way that it's set up. If you change any of this, it will change your file. I don't fully understand why it messes up, but I can tell you one thing you can change. If you decide you want your file a little bit bigger, you can just like manual scale. See, 1.1 is 110% of size. So it would increase from the size that you picked in Inkscape. But the size is the size that we want, so we're going to move forward with 1.0. And it might jump around a bit. I'm going to hold the control key and use my mouse wheel to scroll outward, and whoop, don't want to do that. That's fine. And just like hold the mouse, click the mouse button, and you can move it around. The lines will vary when you draw them in Inkscape depending on how big your file is and how you drew it. You want to left click and select all, and you want this little clicker. You don't want that one, it will alter things. Once you have it selected, go up to Object, Fill and Stroke. We're going to make the lines consistent. I have learned that 4 pixels looks the best when printed. Let's see, reselect. You can change the way the dots, the lines look. Let's do something that's probably visible to you. See little dots. You can change the dashes for different cut marks or whatever, make your own little key. If it's a little more complicated, I recommend rounding out the joints here. But I'm going to leave it plain because this is just a flat pattern, so it's okay. And that will fix the stroke style. But of course, this is going to not print correctly here. So you want to, again, select it all, left click, go to File, and we're going to change the page size under Document Properties. Open Document Properties, look down here, resize page to content. I like to make my margins 50. I hit the little lock. It makes all sides 50 pixels out from the farthest line out. We're going to resize page to drawing or selection because this is the selection. If you don't select it, it'll do something different. We're going to exit. And now it's nice and tidy, but you want your logo. So we're going to left click for text. I recommend playing around with the fonts and deciding which one you like. I use Bauhaus 93. Be consistent with it. I'm going to make this a 70, and now I'm going to have this clicker again, just the mouse. I want to take and make this a color that I want. I'm hoping that you had this line down here like I do. Escape varies. I do 10%, so my logo is visible if someone steals this. Now, if you notice, it is on the same layer and it is over it and it is running into the lines. We do not want that. We're going to left click layer. We're going to add a layer, we're going to do it below current, and we're going to call it logo. If you mess up and, like I'm going to pretend to mess up here, we're on the top layer, right? Well, we're going to right click, move to layer, and move the selection, and now it is behind. But it's still, I don't know, it's flat. Do you want it to go sideways? Maybe a different direction. We're going to go and look at how to turn this. Here's how you rotate, control and a bracket. 90 is not enough. I want like, I don't know, 45, whatever. You'll see how I'm going to turn it. Control does 90, but if you keep it clicked and hit the Alt key and hit the same bracket and hold the bracket, it will rotate it. And once you rotate it to the 2 points that you want it to hit, which is how I like to do mine, you're going to drag it in the middle, and since you're on the logo layer, you're not going to mess with any of that, and you're going to left click and pull it. If you don't rotate it the full way, the text might be kind of slanted. See, you can kind of fix it a little, but it looks good. And if you want to add more text, you have the option to. You can use different, I don't know, maybe I want to, at 40%, I'm going to write Loves Bulwark, EVA foam pattern. I'm going to select it all. I don't know. Whoop. I'm going to hit, I don't know, 40. And it didn't change the color when I started, so I'm going to, again, left click it. What did I say? 40. And now it's 40%, but still readable. And this looks great. I would recommend not using export PNG if you want a picture of this. Just screenshot it because it is white. It will not have a background. It is only aware of the colored text and the lines. So take a screenshot of this if you want to use it as a picture for your website where you're going to sell your files or give them out for free. Now, we have to save it. I would recommend saving along the way because you can, power outages. I'm actually doing this in a storm, so I'm kind of not taking my own advice. We're going to hit Save As. Save it twice. First version, Inkscape SVG. That is the Inkscape file. You can go back and modify it if something doesn't look right. And now we're going to hit scroll down. There's plenty of options. I've not messed with them. We're going to do PDF, portable document format. And I'm going to name it Loves Bulwark PDF. That'll be your professional file name. Hit save. I'm going to tell you to screenshot this. These are the options that I use. You want to make sure it's document page size. I don't mess with it otherwise because it's messed up in the past. Hit OK. Now we are in the folder where I have the file. There's my PDF. Here are the two Inkscape and SVG files. They are both opening. They're both set to open in Inkscape on my computer, so that's why they look like that. We're going to left click this and we're going to open it. I'm holding a control key to zoom out. There's our wonderful pattern. If you attempt to print your pattern and you want to make sure it is poster sized, if you shrink oversized pages, it's going to make it fit into a page. If you do actual size under size, it's just going to give you the center. But if you do poster, it's going to print them all. And heed my warning that you want to be careful how big you make these, because if you have multiple pieces that you're doing, like a full armor set that you're patterning, you don't want to pack a whole bunch into one file, because you cannot, with this, unfortunately with Inkscape, there is no current way to divide this into pages. They will have to print the whole thing. Make sure that you're just not making huge pieces. Better have a bunch of PDFs they can reprint than one gigantic one. But in this case, this is a solid piece, so we will keep it as is. Then you will go ahead and print your pattern. And I'd go ahead and go into the rest of this, but let's keep it simple. You're just going to go ahead and put these all together with clear tape and scissors. There's little pluses where you line them up. It's fairly easy. I know you know how to cut paper and put it together. And once you have that, you can start cutting out pieces to make your final EVA foam item. If there's one thing also that I did not discuss that I wish I had more time, it is that you can go ahead and make foam patterns, and you can use this program. Again, it's a 3D modeling program. You can make a flat DXF, a flat sketch, and draw over it. I ended up, see this says Lyria chest. This is my Lyria necklace that I made, and the foam pattern, I'm going to go ahead and allow the pieces. So this is an actual 3D file I did with I just did it with translucent PLA. Starting out, it was new to 3D printing. We'll show there's a diameter measurement, and if you notice all this and I take out the canvases, there it is. That's the foam pattern, and that is the 3D file. So you'll start out with foam pieces, and then later you can make more intricate 3D printed pieces that can glue onto your, foam sword or necklace or what have you. And if you want to go ahead and sell these files, if you would like to sell files, I'm just searching my own coffee because I never remember the exact link. I put this is my backup shop. I have a website that I pay for, but you can create a free shop. I have a whole bunch of files here. See, there's PDF files, and you can offer your files that way. And it says free plus, it's the 3D print. They can put 0, get now, put in their email, and get files for free. You do need a functioning PayPal account, so you will need a bank account to do this, even if you're offering stuff for free. So here is Google Drive. I'm lagging, and I'm not sure how well you're going to see this, but this is another option where you can share your files for free, not have to worry about having a bank account. Just make a free Google account, Google Drive, after you make your folder, go to share, and then go to share again, and you can create a link that anyone can click and dig around, and that can be your little shop. Just separate your different PDFs in different folders, and they can download them for free that way, and you don't have to worry about storage fees or listing fees on either this or Coffee, because they don't have listing fees like Etsy. So your offerings, if you want to offer stuff for free and also not be charged money, the Coffee and Google Drive are the best ways to go. And hopefully this was helpful to you. If you use this tutorial in any capacity, let me know. I want to hear about it. And since I'm new to YouTube, I gotta say this and get used to it. Like and subscribe so that I can bring you more content in the future that deals with cosplay, crafting, and maybe more ways to make files. Thanks for watching.